Now to the stunning death of a professional race driver and TV host, Jessi Combs, known as the fastest woman on four wheels. She died in a crash trying to break her own land speed record in Oregon. You see how fast she goes there. The accident occurring as she raced across a dry lake bed, trying to go more than 500 miles per hour. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Jessi Combs, seen here barreling across the desert, died chasing her dream. The 39-year-old was attempting to set a new land speed record for women, trying to go faster than 512 miles per hour when she tragically crashed in Oregon. Her team calling 911 moments after.
The high-speed jet fighter that we've got crashed, and the pilot is fatally injured.
In a statement, her family said she left this earth driving faster than any other woman in history. Widely considered the fastest woman on four wheels, in a 2013 interview with Autoblog, Combs described the emotional conversations with her mother about the dangers involved.
A BBC investigation has uncovered allegations of brutal beatings and torture by soldiers in Indian-administered Kashmir. It's been 25 days since the Indian government withdrew the region's semi-autonomous status, leading to a clampdown on dissent and thousands of arrests. The Indian Army has described the allegations as baseless. Kashmir is claimed by both Pakistan and India, with the nuclear-armed neighbours controlling different sections of the state. Stripping Indian-administered Kashmir of significant autonomy is being seen by some as a drive by the Hindu nationalist government for more control over India's only Muslim-majority state.
A judge sitting in Scotland's highest civil court has rejected a request for an injunction preventing the suspension of Parliament, but says it's in the public interest for a full hearing as soon as possible. A group of 75 parliamentarians were seeking an interim interdict, similar to an injunction, at the Court of Session ahead of a full hearing. Lord Doherty said he believed the full hearing should be moved forward to next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, in effect, I think we're in a holding pattern at the moment. The judge declined to grant that emergency injunction. He said he wants to hear the full arguments set out. They did, in the end, settle on a date, that full hearing, which was originally scheduled for next Friday, because, of course, the moves to bring this case to court have been in the offing for some time.
We're gathered here in the Rose Garden to establish the United States Space Command. It's a big deal. As the newest combatant command, SpaceCom will defend America's vital interests in space, the next warfighting domain. And I think that's pretty obvious to everybody. It's all about space. Molly, it's great. Their wonderful family and several of their friends. Our adversaries are weaponizing Earth's orbits with new technology targeting American satellites that are critical to both battlefield operations and our way of life at home. Our freedom to operate in space is also essential to detecting and destroying any missile launched against the United States.
So let's start with that rather enticing offer from President Moon Jae-in. He says it would be meaningful if North Korean leader Kim Jong-un joined a multilateral summit that will be hosted by South Korea in November. The South Korean leader also relayed a message to Japan, saying the flare-up in tensions between Seoul and Tokyo should be dealt with diplomatically.
South Korea's presidential office has expressed its openness to possibly inviting North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to the Korea-ASEAN special summit that will be held in South Korea's southeastern port city of Busan in November. In a written interview with the Bangkok Post ahead of his week-long trip to 3 Southeast Asian nations from Sunday, President Moon said Kim's attendance would be very meaningful for peace on the Korean Peninsula and in East Asia.
Police in Hong Kong have arrested several activists in the pro-democracy demonstrations that have roiled the territory over the last 3 months. One of them is the well-known face of the movement, Joshua Wong. Authorities say Wong and others are being investigated for their role in an unauthorized protest in June when protesters blockaded police headquarters. Police also arrested Andy Chan, a founder of a banned pro-independence party. Wong was one of the student leaders of major pro-democracy demonstrations in 2014. He was released from prison in June after serving a 5-week sentence related to those protests.
Hurricane Dorian, now a Category 2 storm, strengthening this morning, threatening to hit Florida as a major Category 4 hurricane.
Yeah, let's take a look at the satellite showing Dorian on the move. You see it right there, making its way through the Atlantic. And here's what the storm looks like from space. You can see this storm is just getting bigger and bigger.
Hurricane hunters flying right into that storm, capturing this video. And here's what we know right now. Dorian could be a Category 4 storm when it hits the east coast of Florida sometime on Tuesday. More than 17 million Americans are on alert. The state of emergency in Florida has been expanded to include every county in that state and a dozen counties in Georgia.
Indonesia's chief security minister has urged calm in Papua. Speaking with Papuan leaders in Jakarta, Wiranto said both sides have agreed to end tensions in Indonesia's easternmost region. Papua has been rocked by protests and violence for 2 weeks over perceived racial and ethnic discrimination. The majority of Papuans are Christian and ethnic Melanesian. Violence flared again over the past 2 days. There are reports of deaths during a gunfight between police and a separatist group, as well as a government building being torched. An internet ban in the region has made verifying information difficult. The situation today is said to be calm.
Well, Chief Security Minister Wiranto, in what appeared to be a show of unity, he arrived at this press conference with a number of leaders from the Papuan community, and these included a former minister in former President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono's cabinet, Freddie Numberi, and prominent youth leader Samuel Tambuni as well.
Each year, millions of Canadians cross the border into the U.S., and recently there has been an increase in the number of Canadian Muslims being denied entry, often without any explanation as to why they're being turned away. And as John Paul Tasker tells us, there's been at least 6 in the last 2 weeks.
What was supposed to be a joyous occasion quickly turned into a nightmare for Imran Ali, his wife, and children. They were en route to New York City for a wedding, but they didn't make it past the Peace Bridge crossing in Fort Erie, Ontario. Held at the border for 5 hours of questioning by U.S. Customs officers, photographed, fingerprinted, and held in a room with cell-like conditions. They faced 3 rounds of interrogation and pointed questions about their support for Syrian refugees. Ali is an imam and he serves as a chaplain with the Peel Regional Police near Toronto. Even still, he said he felt like he was treated like a terrorist.
Australia has downgraded the outlook for the Great Barrier Reef to the lowest level, very poor. The main cause is climate change. Coastal development, coral bleaching events, habitat loss, and degradation have taken a toll on the reefs.
This reef has suffered in the last few years 6 cyclones, 2 major coral bleaching events, and various attacks by the predator crown of thorns starfish. So, unsurprisingly, the outlook is that the condition has deteriorated.
The reef stretches for more than 2,300 kilometers, while some parts remain in good condition. Many species, including dolphins, sharks and turtles, are being threatened by the changes. But it's not too late to reverse it.